The year is 1809. The uprising was in question as the Ottomans flooded the hill of Čegar near Nish. The Ottomans outnumbered the Serbs 3 to 4 times. The Serbs were losing the battle. But then, like a thunderbolt from a clear sky, an explosion Sinđelić blew up the entire trench, causing enormous losses to the Ottomans, and remained forever recorded in Serbian tradition as a hero. This is the story of the Battle of Čegar. The victories won brought fame, but new great threats were already knocking at the door. Although at first it seemed that the 5-year uprising was entering its final phase, the Ottoman advance put into question everything that had been created until then. After the victories at Stubik and Malajnika, a lull followed. It lasted throughout 1808, after the Russian defeats in the war with Napoleon. The people used this time to repair destroyed homes, the army rested, and the leaders in Belgrade organized the government and listened to the voices of allies arriving from all directions. An administrative council called the Pravitel Jestavujushchi Sovjet was introduced. In 1809, relations between Turkey and Russia became tense again. After fruitless negotiations, conflict broke out once more. On March 12, 1809, the Porte declared war on Russia, and on March 21st, Russia declared war on the Porte. The Russians sent the Serbs aid, 1,000 rifles and 30,000 bullets. Serbia launched an offensive against Turkey. Karađorđe moved toward Montenegro. Milenko Stojković maintained contact with the Russians. Luka Lazarević and Simo Marković were sent across the Drina into Bosnia, and Miloš Petrović was assigned to attack Niš. The Požarevac, Ćuprija, Parachin, Rajanj, and Aleksinac armies marched toward Niš, along with some Krajina and Levchani fighters and a battalion of the regular army. In total, around 16,000 men gathered at Deligrad on April 21st and marched toward Niš. Hajduk Veliko also assisted, operating along the Niš-Pirot route. According to Serbian sources, there were only 3,000 Turks in Niš. But the city had great strategic importance, so a large force was sent against it. The Serbian army advanced slowly and reached Niš on April 27th, where 6 trenches were established around the village of Kamenica. The first and largest was at Cegar with Duke Stevan Sinđelić, the second in Gornji Matejevac near today's restored Latin church with Petar Dobranjak, the third northwest of Kamenica with Duke Ilija Barjak-Terević, the fourth in Kamenica itself with Miloš Petrović, the fifth above Kamenica with Duke Polji Matejic, and the 6th in Donji Matejevac. Sinđelić trench was rectangular, divided in the middle by a rifle trench. On one side were the tents of the Duke and the army, and on the other the gunpowder storage, into which Duke Sinđelić fired. Miloš Petrovic's demand to attack Niš immediately was not accepted. It was decided to wait with the attack and execute a strong blockade of the city. The Turkish army received reinforcements of over 20,000 soldiers. Ismail Bey from Edirne and Thessaloniki, Ahmed Pasha from Vranje, and Karafedza and Shashin Pasha from Leskovac. The battle began in the morning of May 19th, 1809, May 31st in the new calendar. The Turks charged 4 times, but Sinđelić's Uskoci repelled them. Eventually, through those who had fallen and filled the trenches around the fort, the Turks entered the trench. The real clash had begun. Rifle fighting turned into hand-to-hand combat with gun stocks, knives, and grappling by the throat and hair. Turkish reinforcements kept arriving, and Sinđelić was left alone, seeing that he could not drive the Turks out of the trench, that many Serbs had died, and not wanting to fall alive into Turkish hands, Stevan Sinđelić fired his pistol into the gunpowder store, ending the battle. After this, around 16,000 Turks and 4,000 Serbs lay on Čegar. After the battle, Huršid Pasha ordered the heads of the fallen Serbs to be skinned, filled with straw, and sent to the Sultan in Constantinople as proof of his victory. However, the Sultan, horrified by the sight, ordered them returned and buried. From those heads, Huršid built the Celikula at the entrance of Niš as a warning to anyone who dared raise a voice against the Sultan. The increase in Turkish forces did not stop. Hearing about the tragedy at Čegar, Karađorđe lifted the siege of Pazar and hurried to Morava. Hurshid Pasha continued his campaign, capturing Sokobanja and reaching Deligrad, where at the end of June 1809, new battles began. The insurgents under Petar Dobranjak initially repelled attacks, but soon Ottoman reinforcements of almost 40,000 soldiers arrived. By August 23rd, the Serbs, exhausted and without ammunition, were forced to abandon Deligrad. The Turks captured Chuprija and advanced along the Morava. The Serbs withdrew their army and people northward, burning Jagodina to slow the enemy. The Ottoman advance was terrifying. They reached Požarevac, burning everything in their path. In those moments of despair, it seemed all was lost. Many leaders left Serbia, some fleeing with Russian envoys. But one man remained to encourage the people, and Karađorđe Dositej Obradović. He urged them not to lose faith in God and in the righteous struggle. And indeed, help would come at the right time. Serbian bravery was exemplified by the Reserva Duke Stevan Sinđelić. To prevent falling into Turkish hands, he fired his pistol into an underground gunpowder magazine, causing the deaths of all Serbian soldiers and many Turks. In revenge, and as a warning, the Turkish Pasha ordered the Çelikula to be built at the entrance to Nish, incorporating 952 skulls of fallen insurgents. Today it stands as a permanent symbol of the Serbs' struggle for independence. French traveller Alphonse de Lamartine recorded during his visit to the Çelikula in 1833. Let the Serbs preserve this monument. It will teach their children the value of a nation's independence and the price it was paid. Due to the defeat at Čegar, Karađorđe was forced to abandon further campaigns in Old Serbia. Meanwhile, the Rumelian vizier captured eastern Serbia up to the Great Morava, but Karađorđe managed to organize the defense, and favorable winter conditions helped the insurgents as the Turks were forced to retreat. Prince Milan Obrenović erected the first monument at Čegar on July 4, 1878, in honor of Duke Stevan Sinđelić and his heroes. The current tower-shaped monument was built in 1927 by Russian architect Julian Dupont. Čegar and the Çelikula were restored in 2009 during the central celebration of the 200th anniversary of the battle.